You know, Colorado is in the Pac-12 now. That's their first year there. They're Big 12. They're your whole Big 12 team.
Pac-12 thankful Colorado joined the conference, representing the Pac-12 with a tournament victory. Here in Portland, New Mexico has a 2-point lead over Louisville. 5-4 matchup among the seeds here. And conference tournament winners. Shot clock is at 6.
The ball has been on the perimeter of the defense the entire time. That's not the way to attack any defense.
Fenton has to hoist one up and does not touch the rim. Shot clock violation. Great defensive possession for Louisville as Jang is back in there. Steve Alford hoping to take his team to a Sweet 16. A Sweet 16 that will be in Phoenix. And you can bet a large crowd and a large following coming from the pit in New Mexico out to Phoenix if the Lobos make it. Russ Smith finds a little seam inside where Siva could not. Smith does.
You can see it's not just Peyton Siva who can take the ball and get it into the middle of that defense, and that's the one thing that worried New Mexico more than anything else.
Right back to the rim. Demetrius Walker.
Walker's a young man who's playing with more and more confidence.
Walker, the transfer from Arizona State, scored 11 points, chipped in 4 rebounds against Long Beach State. A much talked about prep player.
That was a better job by New Mexico preventing Smith from getting through.
Here's Chris Smith just inside the 3-point line. And a 2 for Chris Smith of Louisville. All tied at 18.
Chris Smith is a pretty good jump shooter.
Over and back. Steve Alford wants an explanation. Demetrius Walker couldn't handle it.
This is Russ Smith now, takes the ball and drives it all the way to the basket. And then the next possession, it's Chris Smith, no relation. He can't take it to the basket, so he rises up and shoots it. Remember what we said about Russ Smith when he entered the game. He's noted for his defensive prowess, and he showed you right there, forcing that over and back situation.
Russ Smith is out. Siva is back in. Patino has his starting 5 on the floor. Here's Bohannon off to a good start for Louisville. 6 points already.
Bohannon's working hard on the inside.
Siva looking for some space and puts up an air ball. Here come the Lobos. Well, New Mexico's done a nice job on Siva so far. Exactly to the game plan of Steve Alford. Philip McDonald lines up a 3.
It doesn't make any difference what you're playing, whether it's a zone defense or a man-to-man defense, a combination thereof. When you get penetration, the defense collapses, and a guy like Philip McDonald, who's an excellent 3-point shooter, has a chance to spot up and knock one down.
He is a 1,000-plus point scorer in New Mexico history. But coming off the bench these days, there's a foul. And that's going to belong to Cameron Bairstow.
Fenton makes this play, driving the ball into the defense. The defense collapses, and McDonald is open from the perimeter. And that's one of the things that Jamal Fenton does well. He's the backup point guard. He comes in for Hugh Greenwood, but he's got really, really good speed. The thing with Fenton is he's a point guard who really likes to shoot it. That time he passed it, got himself an assist.
Kendall Williams back in for Fenton. Louisville ball. Just over 8 minutes remaining in the first half. A trip to the Sweet 16 is on the line.
And this matchup right here, Kendall Williams against Peyton Siva, that's what Steve Alford wants to have as much as possible.
Russ Smith contested by Gordon. Tough to shoot a 3 over a 6'9" forward. And here's Gordon. Jang now got a piece. Gordon. And a travel. Timeout on the floor. Philip McDonald has been a starter until this year. Comes up with a big 3 early for the Lobos. New Mexico shooting 50%. They shot 50% for the game against Long Beach State and shut down a pretty good point guard in Casper Ware in the process.
Well, each team has shot the ball pretty well so far. Drew Gordon has not really gotten the opportunities inside.
That's going to New Mexico, out of bounds.
And one of the things that every once in a while Peyton Siva has a problem with, particularly when he's playing in a half-court situation, is some decision-making. He's one of those guys who thinks he can squeeze it in there, and that time sort of lost control again as he was trying to drive to the basket.
You know, Siva wants to impress. He's got a lot of friends and family here. A pass list of about 50 coming over from Seattle, Washington. He was Mr. Basketball in Washington. He has been held in check so far by Steve Alford's defense. Hardiman and Jang. Gordon comes flying in, and Siva dribbles it out of bounds. Tough start for the Louisville point guard.
It has not been the kind of game so far that he is used to having in this postseason. Misses a shot right there, then he comes into the lane. Just tries to get one up and shoots a 5-footer about 4 feet. And now here, this is a situation where you never recover the ball by trying to dribble it. You grab it, get control of it, and then start to dribble it.
2 turnovers for Siva. Gordon just killing the boards right now for New Mexico.
Gordon is such an effective rebounder.
4 rebounds for Drew Gordon already. At 13 against Long Beach State. Takeaway. Siva pushing it. In the corner, Russ Smith. Got it. Russ Smith only started 7 games during the regular season, but he was second on this club in points per game with a little over 11.
He's not a high percentage shooter from 3, but he makes a lot of them out there.
Now Walker comes up empty again. Jang pulls it down. 5 rebounds. And there's Kirik. No.
Walker's a guy who really likes to push the pace, and sometimes he gets going a little too fast.
There's Gordon again.
I think he's a little conscious of Jang on the inside. He's now 2 for 7 from the field, is Gordon.
Siva finds Smith on the other side. Yes! Hit him in the right corner last time. Finds it in the left corner this time. And Louisville up by 3. Russ Smith cans a couple of 3-pointers. Brian Anderson, Dan Bonner, Jen Hildreth, 24-21. Louisville has the lead.
And Peyton Siva's the guy, he'll just keep attacking you, and in transition, there's nothing wrong with his decision-making. Siva's a guy who likes to play quickly, and he's been able to the last couple of trips.
Here's Hardiman, and Jang unable to get that one. Almost a block, but Hardiman just enough arc under it for the basket.
It's a good play by Hardiman. He was aware of Jang's presence, a fake, and then used the rim to protect it.
Well, you have 2 big men in this game with Jang and Gordon, who are very foul conscious. Jang was in foul trouble on Thursday against Davidson. Oh, might have an injury on the other end. That's Gordon down and hurting, and a timeout. Hardiman came crashing down on his leg. And this does not look good. New Mexico's best player is down in a heap. Left knee, it looked like.
Yeah, that's one of those things where he's standing, he's not expecting that at all, and Hardiman just trying to take the charge crashes right into him, and you hope it's one of those situations in pain.
Gordon is headed to the locker room. We'll get you an update on his health as soon as we can. How does this change things for Steve Alford at this point? It's his best player.
And it's his leading scorer. Gordon is a guy who averages 13.5 points a game, but more importantly, he averages 11 rebounds a game. He is the inside presence for Steve Alford's team. A.J. Hardiman, who's the other inside player, only averages 4 points a game.
Chad Adams is in. Starting to pick for Greenwood. Did not play on Thursday. Doesn't play much. Greenwood for 3. And Blackshear comes away with a rebound. Blackshear just checking it as well. See how New Mexico responds with their leader out. Blackshear in the corner. Greenwood going high for the rebound, the point guard.
Now, nobody is going to be able to do what Drew Gordon did. Everybody's got to do just a little more.
Peyton Siva called for the foul, a touch foul on the Louisville point guard. So you can get exclusive in-game video highlights, up-to-the-minute scores and stats of all NCAA March Madness games at ncaa.com.
So if you're out there and you're one of the Lobos, you just do a little bit more yourself. You don't have to try to do everything that Drew Gordon did.
Siva is on the bench with 2 fouls. Patino was worried about foul trouble.
And what this will allow Louisville to do is push out a little bit to get to guard the perimeter players a little bit more closely, because really not any offensive threats inside now for New Mexico.
To the Williams for 3. Tough shot. Smith was right on, and both of the Smiths are in, Russ and Chris. Russ with the basketball. Will run the point. San Siva.
And New Mexico working really hard to try to prevent the dribble penetration.
Blackshear, he's trying to take advantage of his opportunity. He played just 3 minutes on Thursday against Davidson. He's taking 2 shots, his first make. And a foul on Russ Smith. Timeout on the floor. Drew Gordon in the locker room for New Mexico. Louisville leading by 3 from Portland.
I'm home.
Oh. Where were you?
I was just in the car.
Oh, the car. What's that on your collar?
Oh, tie?
Why do you seem happy?
I'm not.
Come here.
Okay.
Mint. Wow.
I had a shamrock shake.
I hate you.
And I got one for you, too.
I love you.
The magical minty flavor you covet with all your heart. McCafe Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. The simple joy of
Mint.
Thanks for the ticket, man.
Thanks to my State Farm agent for saving me $480.
No sweat. Hey, look, we're on fan cam.
Having the extra cash sure helps.
And I can save even more by combining your auto and renter's policies.
Cool. But what if we bought a house?
Auto and home? We have even bigger savings for that.
Wow, sounds good.
More savings any way you shake it.
Want to split some nachos?
Sure.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
I'm such a kid at heart because, let's face it, kids know how to have fun. Now that I have boys, I like to coach them. My favorite defense is the raw defense, R-A-A-A-A. Keep in mind, I'm coaching 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. When I say raw, that means all my guys run at that one guy who's dribbling the ball and go, rah! And he'll throw the ball away, and then we'll be up by 10 and 15 points. That's my style, and it works. My name is Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin.
We probably never use the word logistics, but I bet you we do it every day. When the ball goes in the basket and everybody jumps up and down, the average person doesn't see what led to that. The choreography, the movement, the flow. 5 people all moving and the ball is moving, all arriving at the perfect place at the perfect time. Boom. The only time you hear, is when the ball goes in. But without logistics, there is no.
Hit 4 3-pointers, did Watford. Well, that is going to be a fun matchup.
And you can see Louisville really has extended the defense. They're pushing out against those perimeter players for New Mexico.
Both of these coaches going very deep on their bench right now.
Now, New Mexico, we said, is a very deep team, but they just don't have anybody who can replace Drew Gordon. But Gordon has now come back out. He's on the bench.
Tony Snell, shot clock winding down. Snell gives it away. Here's Russ Smith, and he misses the dunk. And a throwaway by Hardiman. Opportunity lost for New Mexico. Gordon has returned to the bench. Alford just noticed he was behind him.
Gordon Jang really working hard for position on the inside.
Russ Smith. Jang trying to keep it alive. And it's Lane Blackshear. Look who's coming back in. Not exactly a Willis Reed moment, but it didn't look like Gordon would be back so fast. Just under 2 to go. Louisville by 3 with the ball in white. Blackshear dumps it down. Chang, good catch. Blocked. Snell got a piece of it. Shot clock down to 4. New Mexico basketball. Well, they closed the gap on Chang. Here's Snell for 3. Blackshear, the board. Alley-oop. Too much.
Well, we've had a lot of running up and down and not much to show for it.
Well, now Blackshear takes it away. We got a foul. And that's going to belong to Kendall Williams. And Drew Gordon is set to check in. Let's check in ourselves with Jen Hildreth. What do you have, Jen?
Well, Brian, you can just see Drew Gordon. I mean, he ran past me right back onto the floor, doing everything he could. You see he's got his knee wrapped up. They just put a little bit of a sleeve on it. And I think he was doing everything he could to get back out here on the floor.
Well, he took a tough blow from Hardiman. Looks like he hyperextended that knee a little bit. Important to get him in here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. I think maybe psychologically for the team, yes, but let's just keep track and watch him and see how he's able to function out there.
Louisville made just 1 basket while Gordon was out. Under a minute. Chris Smith passes one up, as does Bohannon. It's not a particularly good shooting team, Louisville. Smith finds Chris Smith. Rush to Chris. No. Jangle to rebound. New possession for the Cardinals. Oh, my. Kendall Williams goes to his backside. Smith keeps it alive. Here's Kendall Williams in the corner.
But Rick Pitino went over there and did a pretty good double team.
Yeah, we have a whistle.
I don't think that this hectic kind of pace is really what Steve Alford and New Mexico want. Louisville is used to this. Not that New Mexico can't play this way. I just don't think it's the best option for them.
Well, coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. We'll get a look at Colorado and Baylor from the pit, the home of the Lobos. Meanwhile, New Mexico in a tight one here with Louisville. Shot clock is off. 25 seconds remaining. Here's Gordon.
Louisville just contests everything defensively. That was there. New Mexico was trying to execute a simple handoff, and Carrick almost took the ball.
Kendall Williams against Bohannon. Williams finds some space. Kendall Williams, as time expires. New Mexico crawls within 1. They got a big scare with their star, who left this game briefly with a knee injury. But he comes back. How effective he'll be, we will see.
And Kendall Williams does a great job. Passes up a three-point opportunity and takes it inside. This is a very difficult basket, but those are the kind of shots that Williams is accustomed to taking and making.
The sophomore, Kendall Williams, with 8 points. Let's check in with Jen Hildreth.
Coach, things got a little hectic there at the end of the half. How do you get them back under control?
Well, Russ missed. You got to lay the ball in. You got to forget about the dunk. I mean, any 5'10" guy in the streets of New York can dunk, so you got to lay it up and put it in. But we got the ball back. More upset at Gorky inside, getting his shot blocked by a young man from Australia, I believe it was. He's got to go up strong and dunk the ball. So we'll take it. We're up 1, very physical game.
Thanks very much, Coach. Brian?
Rick Pitino pulling the curtain back on a halftime speech, it sounds like. That's the end of the first half. Louisville by a point. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Some bad shots in the half-court offense, and they can't. I mean, they were 2 for 11 from three-point range. They only shot 37% overall. They've got to have Gordon play well. They've got to get the ball inside.
So Gordon is back. We'll see how effective he is. Gordon in the first half had 4 points, 5 rebounds. 4 of those 5 rebounds were offensive boards. Peyton Siva had a rough first half for Louisville. There's Siva on the glass. Gordon right there for the rebound. Good sign early for New Mexico.
Siva really forced that one. I mean, he's trying to get into the lane and make a play, but he need to be a little more patient than that. You know, Tony Snell hit that 3 right at the start of the game and then only took 1 other shot the entire half.
Snell was 0 for 4 against Long Beach State as Gordon had it swatted from behind. Jang with a block. That's his 3rd of the game.
Now Gordon looks on this play like he's moving pretty well. He gets a mismatch inside against Keurig, but he waits too long. You can't wait that long with Gorgie Jang coming from behind. Jang just swats it out of bounds and it goes off the head of Hardiman. And so Louisville gets the ball. Wow.
Adrenaline taking over. Remember, Gordon is a senior. Hoping his season will continue. The winner moving on to the Sweet 16 in Phoenix. And they'll play the winner of the Michigan State-St. Louis game, which will be tomorrow on CBS. Here's Bohannon, strong. Check the bar up above. Baylor and Colorado. Brady Heslip has 9 3-pointers in this game on TNT. Baylor and Colorado from the pit in Albuquerque.
NCAA tournament record for threes in the game is 11.
Another unforced error for New Mexico. Greenwood, nobody there for him. And Louisville takes back over. 28-25, Louisville with a 3-point lead.
Steve Alford thinks that there was a hold on the inside, and that's why his guy wasn't in the spot where the ball was thrown.
Louisville trying to do what Connecticut did last year on the way to the national title, winning 4 games in 4 nights in the Big East tournament. There's a 3 from Smith. Chris Smith lines it up, drills a 3. Big shot for Louisville, and a good start for the Cardinals out of the halftime break. Well, it looked like Kendall Williams clutching at his knee as well.
Chris Smith does a nice job finding the open area. Tony Snell just too far away. Smith is a guy who shoots almost 40% from out beyond the arc. That's his 61st 3-point basket of the year. You cannot leave him alone. He and Keurig are the 2 guys who can really burn you from out there.
Kendall Williams trying to shake off whatever he did on the sideline over there. Largest lead for Louisville. Greenwood has been quiet today, the freshman guard for New Mexico. Here's Snell. Shot clock down to 6. And a foul. Chris Smith hacking Greenwood. Our tournament summary. Big East to the Big Ten. 2 teams in the Sweet 16 already. How about the state of Ohio? 5-0 at this point. Wisconsin and Marquette both advancing to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd consecutive year as well. New Mexico gets another possession out of this. Here's Hardiman against Jang.
That's a situation where Hardiman with a fake froze Jang, and Jang just couldn't get up and try to block the shot. I think he was afraid of committing a foul.
Hardiman with 6 points, only averages a little over 5 a game. He and Jang have had some good battles underneath. Here's another one. Swatted by Hardiman. Jang loses it. Here's Keurig up with the loose ball. And Keurig for 3. Got it.
Wow, that's a tough shot.
Kyle Keurig, a superb 3-point shooter. Keurig has been relatively quiet, just 6 points for him. Keurig's hit 2 threes. How does New Mexico respond? A whistle. Kyle Keurig called for the foul.
Now Bohannon sets the screen, and it's actually really not a great screen. He just sort of moves in the way, and that gives Keurig not much room, but enough to knock home that three.
New Mexico down 7. Here's Gordon. They need him.
Now Gordon can make that shot. He's really good out to about 17 or 18 feet, and that time he didn't worry about the presence of Jeng. He just caught the ball and let it go.
Mountain West Conference MVP, averaged a double-double this year. Averaged a little over 13 points per game. Earlier in this game, set a New Mexico single-season record for rebounds. Siva knifing to the glass, and that's really the first basket on penetration for Peyton Siva in this game. New Mexico did a nice job in the first half denying him.
Well, you're not going to stop him all night long. I don't care what you do or how good you are, but he's just too fast.
First made field goal for Peyton Siva. Snell lets one rip. And Smith comes down with it, and that's going to stay in the possession of New Mexico. Chris Smith wanted a foul. How about Gordon? He's back. Knee injury in the first half. Comes back, it's a big bucket.
He's back, and Peyton Siva never went anywhere. Siva can really make plays on the inside.
These teams who are pretty familiar with each other. They're both featured in this book, Play Their Hearts Out. Now, Demetrius Walker for New Mexico was once ranked the #1 player in the country when he was in middle school, and he played against Peyton Siva. And I talked to Peyton and found out, you think he's emotional now? It's nothing compared to what he was.
Right on cue, Siva, a little behind the back to Keurig. So out of the timeout, Peyton Siva gets it started on the defensive end, and Keurig able to finish. Well, New Mexico has to be very careful here, Dan, as Russ Smith, a basket and a foul.
You heard Steve Alford say at halftime that their turnovers hadn't been too bad because they haven't resulted in runouts. One turnover results in the runout, the fancy pass by Peyton Siva, and then they steal the inbounds pass, score, and have an opportunity for a three-point play.
Siva's 4th assist. Keurig now with 8 points. Russ Smith. 3-point play for Louisville. Russ Smith now with 11. And the full court pressure for Rick Pitino here.
And New Mexico just has not been able to get anything going offensively. Their ball handling very shaky here early in the second half. This defense has made them stand and watch a lot. You got to get the ball inside the defense, whether it's with the dribble or the pass, but New Mexico doing a lot of standing around on the offensive end.
Shot clock at 7. Jamal Fenton, and he's fouled by Russ Smith. Now take a look at the bar above. Baylor advancing, getting by Colorado. That game wrapping up over on TNT at the pit. Baylor headed to the Sweet 16. Here in Portland, Louisville 41, New Mexico 29. Brian Anderson with Dan Bonner, Jen Hildreth. Had a great matchup earlier. Indiana getting by VCU. And now New Mexico in the danger zone, trying to keep pace with Louisville. This is Jamal Fenton, offensive board. Gordon. Fenton will try another one. 0 for 2 for Fenton. And Louisville can add to their lead.
Fenton's a pretty good three-point shooter, and those were 2 wide open looks. I think New Mexico take those anytime they can get them.
This was a 1-point game at the half. Louisville had the lead. Siva throws it away. Can Gordon get there? Nope. And New Mexico basketball. A trip to the Sweet 16 in play here. New Mexico and Louisville. They'll match up against the winner of Michigan State and St. Louis, which will be tomorrow from Columbus on CBS. And this part of the bracket headed to Phoenix, the West region. Timeout, New Mexico. Louisville starting to ratchet up the pressure on Alford's Lobos. A lot on the line when you stay and advance to the Sweet 16.
Eliminates Colorado 80-63 out in Albuquerque. Brian and Dan.
All right, Greg, thank you. Baylor in the tournament for the third time under Scott Drew and headed to the Sweet 16. They'll match up against the Xavier Lehigh winner in Atlanta. Same bracket that the winner of this one will head to. Another turnover for New Mexico out of the timeout. Russ Smith just flying past Williams. Out of bounds on Jamal Fenton, Louisville basketball.
And it's been a big problem for New Mexico. Louisville has been able to convert the turnovers into baskets. This is just a poor pass by Greenwood, and then Peyton Siva makes him pay down on the other end. And then right after that, Russ Smith got a steal, and Greenwood fouled him. So here you have another turnover, and Louisville trying to operate.
Russ Smith and Chris Smith. It's Chris Smith who drains a three-pointer.
So not only are they forcing turnovers, but in addition, they're shooting the ball very well. The Cardinals now 7 for 9 in the second half, and they have seized this game by the throat.
Chris Smith now with 8 points. A couple of three-pointers hanging in the air. Fenton. Fenton, a much-needed bucket for New Mexico, and he forced a turnover here. Fenton running the floor. Jang right behind him and works around the shot blocker. Jamal Fenton. And a timeout for Rick Pitino. Jamal Fenton. Our game summary, Louisville had a 1-point lead at the half, now up 11, Dan.
Well, Louisville's defense has forced some turnovers here in the half. They forced 4 turnovers in this half, and as we said, they've shot the ball very well, 7 for 9. However, they've turned it over a couple of times. Rick Pitino just wanted to get him over there on the sideline and get him settled down.
A couple of starters back in, Bohannon and Peyton Siva. Starting 5 for Louisville on the floor. Approaching 12 minutes remaining. And Keurig throws it away. Siva left the spot. New Mexico a chance to whittle it down a little more.
The big problem for New Mexico on offense in this half has been the turnovers. They've got to get good looks at the basket. Can't do that if you turn it over. And I think to get good looks, they have to take it inside. We saw Fenton the last couple of times driving the ball inside, but they've got to get Gordon more involved in things here on the offensive end.
So just joining us, Drew Gordon, who has the ball now. Injured in the first half, injured knee. Good pass to Hardiman. Perfect spot for Hardiman to catch and shoot.
That was perfect is the right word. Gordon threw that ball perfectly just over the outstretched hands of Bohannon. He's not big enough to go get that one.
8 points for A.J. Hardiman. A couple of seniors hooking up.
New Mexico trying to ratchet up the defensive intensity.
Chris Smith, shot clock at 7. Tough shot. Hardiman the rebound. Little run for New Mexico. They're within 9. New Mexico has never defeated a Big East school in the NCAA tournament. They've got Louisville in their sights here tonight for a trip to the Sweet 16. Shot clock getting low again, down to 5. Williams, tough one.
Really nice job by Siva to prevent Williams from getting past him. But New Mexico, I think, needs to attack inside earlier in the shot clock. They're wasting an awful lot of time throwing the ball around the perimeter.
Siva denied, but he finds Keurig for 3. A little long.
That's a great rebound.
Williams for 3. And a whistle.
Keurig is going to pick up the foul.
Timeout on the floor. A little mini run for the Lobos. They're within 9.
You got a dog?
Field goal. 6 points in the game. He's got 6 offensive rebounds, 9 rebounds overall. But they need some offensive production from Drew Gordon. The Lobos simply having a tough time getting him the ball.
Fenton been big on the last few possessions. Cannot connect here. And Jang rips the rebound.
Siva, he's not going to stop just because they're doing a pretty good job keeping him out of the lane. He's going to continue to probe. Got to watch the 5-second count.
I haven't seen a shot clock. Get down deep. Plenty here today. It's at 8. Jang against Gordon. Shot clock rolling. Kurik's got to get a shot up quickly. Knocked away. Jang lets one fly. And a shot clock violation. The signature of the Lobos of New Mexico, the defense, and their magic number is 60. They hold opponents to 60 or below. They are 58-0 in the Alford era.
They have been pretty good here the last few possessions on the defensive end. They've got to get some production on the offensive end. That foul's going to be against Gordon. They just can't get a 3 to go down.
Philip McDonald missed, and it is the last 11 three-pointers missed for New Mexico.
Jang sort of threw the arm out there and caught Gordon, and Gordon went grabbing and got called for the foul. New Mexico is a team that gets about 30% of its offense from beyond the arc, and their inability to hit the three-point shot has really put a lot of pressure on their defense today. You can see not a happy group over on the Lobo bench.
Just 2 for 17 from three-point range, and they've missed on 11 straight. 9 to go in regulation. Kurik in the deep corner. Jang keeps it alive. Russ Smith comes away with a loose ball here. Another opportunity for Louisville. Russ Smith going at Bairstow, and that is an offensive foul going the other way. Foul called on Russ Smith.
Russ Smith taking the ball hard to the basket, and Bairstow steps over just outside the restricted area. That's 3 fouls now on Russ Smith, but Bairstow did a good job establishing his position just outside the area.
Bairstow, the big Aussie. Kendall Williams.
But Greenwood has really had a problem with this pressure today. New Mexico's attack against the pressure has been a little bit better with Fenton in the game.
And that Louisville defense never rests. Talked about it when we hit the air today. Gordon, turnaround, friendly rim.
That's a big time shot right there. Defensive pressure all around, and he had to get it up over Gordon Jang.
That's 8 points for Gordon.
After making 7 of their first 9 shots of the second half, Louisville's offense has started to sputter a little bit.
Russ Smith passed it into traffic. Now he's wide open for a jumper, a little mid-range jumper for Russ Smith. He's had a good night shooting the basketball. 15 points now on 5 of 11 shooting. Gordon, up fake, and it counts. Chance for 3 for Drew Gordon. Back-to-back possessions with Gordon.
Well, we talked about the fact that Gordon had to get more involved offensively. This is a tremendous move up over the shot blocker. And then this is a power move. That's what we're used to seeing from Drew Gordon.
Hey, Eddie, where's she going now?
Looks like the dry cleaner.
Dry cleaner.
The dry cleaner.
The all-new. Get coverage of the Division I women's basketball tournament at ncaa.com/Final Four. We are in Portland, 7:23 to go here. Brian Anderson, Dan Bonner, Jen Hildreth, Craig Silver producing, Renardo Lowe directing. And Louisville up 8. Drew Gordon at the line for New Mexico. Cannot finish off a three-point play, but another opportunity here for the Lobos. Williams for 3. Yes! Kendall Williams. A big shot for the Lobos.
They're now 3 of 18 from beyond the arc. They need a couple more of those.
It's a 5-point game. It's a 13-3 run for New Mexico. Covers a little over 5 minutes. Russ Smith threw it into traffic.
Here's the anatomy of a three-point shot. Sometimes they're easy to get in a scramble situation. Nobody blocks out the shooter. The ball goes right back to Drew Gordon, and that gives Kendall Williams the chance to step into a three.
Shot clock down to 6. Kirk under the basket. And a foul.
That was really a break for Louisville because their offense was really struggling at that point. And Keurig, you got to give him a lot of credit. He got the ball in there and just tried to force it up through traffic. Worst thing that can happen is you get your shot blocked. The best thing that can happen is you get a foul, and he got a foul call.
Philip McDonald, his first foul. Keurig with his 9th point of the night. Rick Pitino talking about Keurig, says sometimes he can disappear on the floor. He wants more out of him. Feels like he's more than just a three-point shooter.
Well, he's an 80% free throw shooter, and that put the brakes on a little mini run by New Mexico.
By the way, that three-pointer by Williams, the first three made for New Mexico. It's the 8:28 mark as Gordon takes the alley-oop.
I think the knee's okay.
McDonald to Gordon. Back within 5, New Mexico. There were concerns in the first half that Gordon might not be able to return. It looked bad. It was a hyperextension of the knee. No problem. Shot clock again winding down. Russ Smith over Gordon. No. And a battle for the rebound. Held ball. Possession arrow. New Mexico.
We've said a couple of times that they've got to get Drew Gordon more involved. Well, this is a pretty good way to get him involved. He's been matched up against Keurig inside, and that is a size mismatch, and Gordon just cuts to the basket. Keurig can't get back in time to defend.
Another double-double for Drew Gordon. 8 points here in the second half. Has 12 total with 10 rebounds.
And Snell is another guy who New Mexico relies on for some offense, who's been very quiet tonight. Just one field goal, made it 3 early in the game. Then we haven't heard anything from him.
He's back in, number 21 in red. Has the ball here, a 3 from Snell. Jang comes away with it. 5.5 left. And a timeout. Louisville, 49-44. Louisville up 5 on New Mexico. It's tightening up here in Portland. Steve Alford and the Lobos trying to fight their way to the Sweet 16 through the Big East. Sweet 16 invitations on the line. Louisville leads by 5 with the ball. Siva running the point for the Cardinals. Siva finds Bohannon. Blocked. Bear still got a piece. Here comes Greenwood.
How did he catch that?
Looks like Jan got a piece. So Gordon headed back to the free throw line.
Peyton Siva drives the ball into the lane and really gives it to Bohannon in a tough spot. Bairstow comes over and gets it. And then this is a difficult pass, but Gordon is able to control it, and Siva commits the foul. That's his 3rd foul. We said about Gordon, if you can get the ball anywhere close to him, he's going to catch it, and he showed you evidence of that skill right there.
Now 11 points in the second half for Drew Gordon. Siva, 3 fouls. He fouled out against Davidson. He's had a rough night against the Lobos tonight. Here we go within 3.
New Mexico with a little 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure.
Louisville had a 15-point lead. They led by 1 at the break. It is now down to 3. Siva looking for someone. And Bohannon. Boy, Bairstow's been tough for the Lobos. A foul.
Well, Bohannon just keeps working at it on the inside. He got that shot blocked by Bairstow, but he went right after it. And again, I think Siva, he threw the ball to Bohannon. Bohannon wasn't really all that open. Threw it into him in a tough spot, and Bohannon bailed him out.
The winner here will match up against Michigan State or St. Louis. A game that'll be played tomorrow in Columbus on CBS. Michigan State, the top seed. Bohannon misses the free throw.
Bohannon comes in. He's only a 60% free throw shooter.
A.J. Hardiman will check in for Cameron Bairstow.
We've already seen a couple of times today the importance of blocking out on a free throw. Each team has scored a bucket when their opponent failed to do so. So if he misses this, it's important for New Mexico that they block out.
Missed them both. Gordon with a rebound. New Mexico, another chance to tie.
Trying to get organized on offense.
Craig Neal, the New Mexico offensive coordinator, on his feet. Hardiman. Oh, sneaky pass to Gordon, but it's stripped away. Jang blocks one. Gordon up again. Gordon battling, and a held ball. And that belongs to Louisville. Collapsing on Drew Gordon in the paint.
They really did collapse on him. He had the ball knocked away by Russ Smith. Then he recovers it, and Jang knocks it away. Then he just can't get it up over the rim. And Bohannon steps in and makes a very heady play. That's tough to do down on the inside without picking up a foul, but Bohannon was able to accomplish it.
See what Louisville does here. Can they add to the lead after a terrific defensive possession? New Mexico has denied penetration from Siva all night. Bohannon, strong, under the basket, found some space. Shane Bohannon with 10 now.
Bohannon really does a great job carving out the area on the inside. That time he had a little more room, a much better pass from Siva.
New Mexico down 5, denied by Jang. A steal for the Louisville big man. Keurig in the corner for 3. Lobos.
They dodged a bullet there.
Yes, they did. Patino stomping his feet. Snell will take it. Russ Smith comes away with it. Well, the Lobos have had a couple of opportunities to square it up. It's a 5-point game now.
And Snell is their top 3-point shooter, and he just hadn't been able to get it to go. He made that first one. And he's missed his last 4. And now time really becoming a factor here. This is a situation where New Mexico just about has to get a stop.
Siva knifing to the rim. Peyton Siva. Big bucket for Louisville. And a timeout. New Mexico calls the TO. Siva's been looking for a seam all day. Finds some space. Finishes at the rim. Louisville up 7.
Player in the Big East tournament. He was really good against Davidson, and tonight his scoring isn't there, but a guy who's, when you have a guy who you need to make plays on the offensive end, he doesn't have to make all the plays, but you'd like him to make the big plays, and probably no bigger play in this game than the one Siva just made.
Big possession for New Mexico after the offered timeout. Down 7. Gordon's been their go-to guy. Has it knocked away from behind. Gordon gets it back. Almost another turnover. That's a 3.
But
no.
he never had control of the ball.
Well, Gordon and Russ Smith come together for the loose ball.
Up over there. Gordon very fortunate that he doesn't get called for a foul for pushing.
Russ Smith called for the foul. New Mexico ball down 7 when we continue.
but it's just 2 degrees.
He has the ability to score inside, to play through contact and pressure. And he's shown those skills today.
Coming off a double-double against Davidson, had 16 and 11 in Louisville's win against Davidson. Drew Gordon at the free throw line, hits the first. New Mexico trying to fight their way back. Louisville had a 15-point lead. And Gordon now at 15. And it's back to a 5-point game. Under 2 remaining. 5-second call. The Lobos regain possession.
You know, New Mexico looking to force the turnovers. Louisville not really moving very well. Jang was open, they just didn't see him.
Here's Gordon, size mismatch. Looking for a whistle, didn't get it.
Now, you don't need to force the shot in that situation. Gordon asking for the lob, they didn't see him.
In the corner, Walker, yes sir! Demetrius Walker. Timeout, New Mexico. The Lobos are in the hunt. Back within 2 as Walker drills a 3. And True TV over 12 hours. John Thompson III and the Hoyas, the highest seed on display tomorrow. Major upsets on that side of the bracket. Louisville basketball. Russ Smith goes right to the rim. Gordon with a foul. After a monster 3-pointer by Demetrius Walker. Louisville by 2, shooting free throws now.
That's really a good play by Louisville. Get the ball inbounds against the press and don't try to run time off the clock. If they're going to press you, go make them pay for it. Smith, a 76% free throw shooter on the season.
Now 17 points for Russ Smith.
You know, we talked about him when he first came in the game, how he's most noted for his defensive play, but he mentioned he's the second leading scorer for Louisville, and he's capable of huge offensive outbursts, and he's had a big outburst today.
Didn't start. Looks like he might finish. He hits them both. Big free throws for Louisville and Russ Smith. 55-51. New Mexico ball. Down 4. It's Kendall Williams. Attacking the rim. Walker. Gordon keeps it alive. Drew Gordon.
Gordon has such good hands around the basket. Hardiman missed the dunk, the tip dunk, but Gordon was able to recover it.
18 points, 14 rebounds for Gordon. Smith gets away from Walker.
Walker drives to the basket, and Jang comes over to help out, but the miss on the tip dunk, and Gordon somehow is able to squeeze in there and tip it in. And what you see Louisville doing right now, they're spreading the court and trying to drive by. That's only team foul number 6 against New Mexico, so no 1-on-1 opportunity for Louisville yet.
Gordon has 14 boards, 8 of them on the offensive end.
What we've seen for most of the game from Louisville is they've been trying to set screens at the top of the key for their guards to use the screen and drive by. Now they're just spreading the court and allowing the guards to use their quickness to try to penetrate to the basket.
McDonald is in, as is Greenwood for New Mexico. Peyton Siva with the ball. Louisville by 2.
And Jang is in the game along with Siva and 3 other guys, the 2 Smiths and Keurig, guys who can shoot the 3. So the plan here appears to be to drive the ball to the basket, force the defense to come and help, and then if you can't get it all the way to the basket, then kick it out for a 3.
Siva gives it to Jang! Corgi Jang!
Or the screen and roll, that'd work too.
4-point Louisville lead. New Mexico's got to go here. Kendall Williams. Air ball. Jang. It bounces right back to Williams. Game clock. Down to 14. Louisville ball. Got a foul. Siva going to the free throw line. How about the 2-man game with Siva and Jang?
This is really a nice play right here. They're trying to stop Siva, but nobody plays back to Jang. That's just the old screen and roll. He sets the screen. Gordon goes to Siva. Jang goes to the basket. And it looks like Louisville's going to the Sweet 16.
Peyton Siva, biggest assist of the night. Siva's dished out 6, given 5 points now. Quiet most of this game. New Mexico denying him, but a couple of major drives to the basket resulting in points. Siva hits them both. Time running out for the Lobos. 6-point game. Williams trying to get some space, can't do it. Gordon for 3. Yes! A puncher's chance for New Mexico as Drew Gordon.
That's his second three-point basket of the season. Right away, and Louisville has gone in Behan and are out.
A foul means free throws. A 1-on-1 situation. Keurig having a tough time, and he gets the timeout just in the nick of time. With nanoseconds remaining, Keurig calls a timeout. Louisville will reset. Siva to Jang has extended this lead. Rick Pitino's team winning the Big East tournament. 4 games in 4 nights, trying to advance to the Sweet 16.
His Cardinals still have 1 timeout left.
2.9 left. Can Louisville get the basketball in? They do, and Elisha Justice is fouled.
Now, Justice on the season has not missed a free throw, but he's only attempted 2, and this is a very difficult spot for the young man to come into the game. He hadn't played before, and he's got to come off the bench now and make a couple of free throws.
Been sitting on that bench all night. And he steps up to the free throw line with a chance to send Louisville to the Sweet 16. Elisha Justice, Mr. Basketball in Kentucky a couple of years ago. He's just a sophomore from Pikeville.
Keep in mind, it's a 3-point game, but even if he misses both of them, it's going to be really difficult for New Mexico to get a good shot.
And it's out. Gordon lets one fly. And there it is. Louisville from the Big East. Perhaps this year's UConn. They're moving on. Louisville headed to Arizona. First Sweet 16 since 2009 for Rick Pitino's Cardinals.
Well, they did have the desperation attempt, and this is what we were talking about. Even if he missed with 2.1 seconds, the clock starts the moment somebody touches the ball. The clock starts now. Gordon had very little choice except to do that, and that's not much of an opportunity.
Louisville has found their stride in March. 59-56. The Cardinals win. We send it to Jen.
Coach Pitino, your team had a big lead. It nearly got away from you. How did you hang on in this one?
Didn't block out on the foul line. That changed the whole swing. Get the rebound, hit a 3, back in the ball game. Block out. We played a great defensive game. We've played every single type of game this year. Slow against Vandy, fast against Marquette. And that's what the Big East is all about. Such a diversity of style of play that we were able to play this way tonight. Real proud of our guys. We're going to Sweet 16.
You're gonna let this guy get away with that behind you? Russ will bring you in now. You had a little bit of redemption, didn't you, after the missed dunk in the first half, huh?
Yeah. My legs gave out.
I like how I go to the hard question first. Well, tell me about this game, because it didn't come easily for you guys, especially when that lead started slipping away. What did you guys do?
Definitely just kept our composure. We got great leadership. Kyle, Peyton, they played throughout the whole game. Chris made some big shots. Gorgie and Shane battled, and the bench, I mean, we cheer for each other. We love each other, so it's great to come out here and get a win.
Got a nice stretch going now in the postseason. Does this team have a little momentum building?
Definitely, I hope so. It just feels good to keep winning. I love Shane. It feels great to just keep winning, and I'm happy for the team, happy for the city, and let's just keep it moving.
All right, throw those dunks down, make your coach happy.
All right, I got you.
Back to you.
All right, Jen, thanks. Russ Smith, sophomore, Briarwood, New York. He was a defensive star in the Big East tournament. Comes up with 17 points here tonight. Louisville advances, awaiting Michigan State and St. Louis. And this was the key play, Dan.
Well, the key play, because they had the court spread and Jang is able to get by on the screen and roll. Siva does a great job turning the corner, drawing the defense, and Jeng just follows his point guard down the lane. Louisville's on to the Sweet 16.
Patino drew up a master play. Louisville advances. And great working with you, Dan. Enjoyed it. For Dan Bonner and Jen Hildreth, I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Portland. Coming up on TBS, it's Inside March Madness presented by Buick. The Louisville Cardinals headed to the Sweet 16 in Phoenix. So